Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is another Hollywood celebrities dropping like flies.
They're dropping like flies.
Listen, people are dropping like flies out there.
I am
Boop.
pissed off.
We're dropping like flies around here.
We're dropping like flies here. Jeez, sir, 2 more just went down. Dropping like flies.
Too many people around here been dropping like flies already, and where's that getting us, huh? Nowhere. Fast.
Biden's being Biden's being extremist.
Crush that fly.
The Jaime Foxx thing keeps on being bizarre. Gets more bizarre. New report says Jaime Foxx is learning to walk again amid mystery health issues. His daughter says he's playing pickleball. So which is it? His daughter is Corinne Foxx. Corinne Foxx. She's an actress. It's been nearly 2 months since Jaime Foxx family revealed the Oscar-winning actor had been hospitalized due to medical complications suffered on the set of upcoming Netflix movie Back in Action, co-starring Cameron Diaz. Providing the most recent update on his health is his eldest daughter, Corinne Foxx, had taken to social media to address the situation, saying her father was doing well and even engaging in activities like Pickle-ball, although in a new exclusive report, it insider claims the actor is currently undergoing intense physiotherapy to aid his recovery and regain his mobility. While the true extent of the Soul Star's health condition remains shrouded in mystery, allegedly the 55-year-old actor has been facing mobility struggles since the incident on April 11th while filming in Atlanta. An insider told Radar Online that Jaime is receiving treatment at one of the top physical rehabilitation centers specializing in stroke, brain, and spinal cord injuries, the insider told the publication. Jaime is receiving treatment at one of the top physical rehabilitation centers in the country. The clinic specializes in physical therapy programs to treat injuries or physical condition that limits or prohibits the ability to walk correctly. They teach people how to walk again at this particular clinic. She said here, in a post shared on Instagram in May, Corinne addressed the media coverage surrounding her father's condition. She had shared a post from Rap TV, which has since been deleted, claiming that the actor's loved ones were preparing for the worst. However, she said these claims were erroneous and clarified that her dad has been out of the hospital for weeks and was recuperating. Now the unnamed source told Radar Online that the actor's condition is a bit more serious, continuing, Jaime would not be at this clinic if he was not impaired in some way as a result of what happened to him. But fans should rest assured Jaime is in the best care at this clinic. Okay, so this daughter here, Corinne Foxx, there's nothing in her picture. There's stuff here with her dad. This is an old thing here with her dad from May 9th. This is something else with her dad. And this is her on a computer. And she has disabled comments. And the post that she posted saying he played pickleball is no longer there. And so that brings us to Newsweek, which is debunking, fact check, Jaime Foxx left paralyzed and blind by COVID. Boop! And it gets into its long article here. It tells about the claims, all these things. Then it gets into the facts. Benza has made multiple claims about Fox's health and the circumstances surrounding his illness, all of which at this point are unsubstantiated. The only information made public of Fox's health is he was suffering from a medical complication. His family was seen last month reportedly visiting him at a physical rehabilitation center in Chicago. Well, that means that paralysis is probably fairly accurate. And then stroke, neither Corinne nor any other Fox family has given specific update on his health since her Instagram statement, and she's deleted all these posts. Fox account, remember he said this, appreciate this. And so he was at a rehabilitation clinic which probably makes it clear that there is possibility of stroke. The ruling is unverified, but it's a little bit closer to true. It's not satire. It's not misleading material. It's not false. It's getting closer to true. It's almost true. Big, giant, colossal cursor knows. While the specifics of Fox's illness was not yet confirmed, there's no evidence available to support the claim that he was left paralyzed and blind. In addition, there's no evidence that his medical complication was related to the COVID. Boop! I got a special boop for that. But yeah, there is some information because multiple sources plus this article itself said he went to a rehabilitation center, which means he needs some help regaining his physical capacity. And so that's something. That ain't nothing. It's starting to edge closer to being true here. Bling Empire star Anna Shea dead from a stroke at age 62. Lots of strokes have happened. I don't know who this is. I don't know what Bling Empire is. But she, So I did a story. One of my viewers sent me a video of I think it was a 12-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl, who had a twin sister who suffered cardiac arrest. She said she was pronounced dead, right? And she suffered cardiac arrest. And, she had what was called a genetic condition, and it's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy genetic. I put the genetic in there. And so now they're saying here, HMC is the most common genetic heart abnormality. 1 in 500 Americans is diagnosed with the HCM. However, this condition often goes undiagnosed. HCM is autosomal dominant condition, meaning that individuals have 50% chance of inheriting or passing on the predisposition to this disorder in their children. But somewhere it was said that it is a genetic mutation, because if somebody had this and they could just have heart disease or cardiac arrest, and they're saying a lot of kids have this and it's causing kids to have cardiac arrest, why does it seem to be growing? Because it's a kind of genetic mutation that would, kill people from, they would die of heart attacks and they wouldn't be able to reproduce and pass it on. But now it's a growing issue where they're diagnosing these young kids with it who are having these random heart attacks because there's no symptoms, and it said somewhere else, I'm not sure where I have it. I thought it was right here. Here it says, it is a genetically determined heart muscle disease, most often 60 to 70% caused by mutations in one or several genes. So is this a mutation that's happening now for something that's been induced or introduced into the population? And because of that, this condition is now more rampant because it's not being passed down genetically through a genetic line, but by some other, some other catalyst that people are now having. I mean, just inquiring minds want to know. So this is Ball. Somebody posted this on Facebook. Barium and aluminum, which are supposedly in chemtrails. And that's not what Bal looks like. This is a human being. Bal's supposed to be a bull, I believe, but who cares? Okay, so one of my viewers sent me this. I don't think I have to turn the noise on. There's music here, and that's why I'm not turning the music on. So this bride jumped into the water with a full wedding gown, and then she couldn't get her face above water because the wedding gown started to drown her. One of her bridesmaids jumps in. This guy's kind of he's taking all of his stuff off. He's jumping in, and they're trying to get her from drowning on her wedding day because she stupidly jumped in off the boat, and they finally got her face up, and she's able to breathe. And it was a close, brush with death. Because people aren't very bright when it comes to things like that. Hydroelectric dam in Kherson partially destroyed. This is in Russia. And there's flooding because of this. And they're calling it a T-word act. I'm going to come back to that later. Schulz Lake in Egan closed to swimmers due to a mystery illness. There's a lake in Minnesota, Dakota County, and people swimming there are getting sick. Or are they? Is it something else? Tommy Lee, the great drummer. There's lots of drummers dropping like flies. And this...
Warning signs of satanic behavior may be apparent, such as a sudden, bitterly antagonistic attitude towards family and religion.
So this is Vision Pro by Apple.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro.
Kaboom!
The era of spatial computing is here.
Kablowie. It doesn't look weird at all.
When you put on Apple Vision Pro, you see your world and everything in it. Your favorite apps live right in front of you.
Good. I was hoping to get my apps in my visual field. I just want more of my apps. I don't have enough apps in the world experience.
But now they're in your space. This is Vision OS, Apple's first ever spatial operating system. It's familiar yet groundbreaking. You navigate with your eyes. Simply tap to select, flick to scroll, and use your voice to dictate. It's like...
for those of you that don't want the hassle of having a phone or a computer, you now can be able to do this with a pair of goggles and sit on your couch and watch your world around you while you scroll through your apps.
Magic. Apps have dimension, react to light, and cast shadows. Even though these spatial experiences are happening inside Vision Pro, it looks, sounds, and feels like they are physically there. Foundational to Apple Vision Pro is that you're not isolated from other people.
This isn't isolating at all. This isn't going to be a barrier to your... what's going on here? What's this plugged into?
Someone else is in the room, you can see them, and
there's a wire here. What's this plugged into?
they can see you.
Your spinal cord?
Because you're not limited by a display, apps live in your space. Your photos can be life-size, or any size, so your living room becomes a gallery. And panoramas wrap around you as if you're right where you took them.
My photos are good enough on the phone or the computer.
Apple Vision Pro is Apple's first ever 3D camera. Now, you can capture photos and videos with remarkable depth and relive a memory as if you're right back in the exact moment.
Where's the cord go to? What's it plugged into? Because, the whole idea with this is you could walk around with it. But if you have to sit there on your couch, then it's almost like there's not really much of a difference between this and being on your phone and computer, except you have to wear these goofy goggles. And is there software here at the base of your skull, or is it in here? And there's, what is this going to do to you on a physical level? All right, so that's Apple's thing. They're just going the same way as Meta. New York City vending machines cater to drug users with free crack pipes, lip balm. If you get a crack pipe, you better get your lip balm and Narcan for ODSs. Big Apple officials unveiled a street vending machine Monday that covers it all when it comes to catering to drug users, offering free handy paraphernalia such as crack pipes and lip balm, and also Narcan for overdoses. In case you're overdosing, they have a vending machine there. Because of the rising use of fentanyl, and kids can get access to it too, because it's a public vending machine. Here it is here. It has all these things. Maybe there's maybe you have to get re-registered here. Maybe this thing here. Let's see if it said anything about that. The vending machine, one of 4 set to be placed in some of the city's most drug-infested neighborhoods, swaps out would be typical offerings such as candy bars and potato chips for drug-related freebies. To combat the surge in overdoses in the 5 boroughs, we have a rising tide of fentanyl. People don't have to pay for these items. They simply punch in their zip code to get access. So kids can get this stuff too. This is in Spanish, the interview, but I'll just read what it says here. The mom of Vanessa Bryant says her daughter kicked her out and repoed her car. Vanessa's mom said Kobe Bryant and Gina Bryant's bodies are in cemetery, but won't reveal which one. Then she said after Kobe died, Vanessa kicked her out and repoed her car and told her, "You need to leave my house and give me my car." We believe it because Vanessa has blocked and never mentioned her. And so her mom is kind of crazy and dramatic, and I guess Kobe was keeping her from, kicking her mom to the curb. But now she's, be able to do that. People are merging blobfish with politicians, Republicans ones. There's Fish Boy Trump, and there's Putin, but no Jojo Magoo. There's some new pronouns you need to be aware of here.
Thanks so much for asking. For those of you who don't know, I go by vampire pronouns.
Vampire pronouns.
Sometimes when I feel, kind of like vampy. So my pronouns are vir, or vire, vampire self, or like vir self.
So I don't think I could remember that or put those in a, context. How would you use these pronouns?
So like an example of that would be, V went to the store. They're going to be right back.
So it's kind of like there, but it's Veer.
Taking care of Vampself.
Vampself. So it's instead of themself, it's Vampself. It just makes sense.
Said that they really like chocolate cake, and V's gonna go buy some. If you have.
And V's gonna go buy some. So Vamp said. So is that for like she or he? Vamp, like you need to have like a cheat code here.
Have any more questions? Just ask. I love talking about pronouns and transgender's identities. Woo, hyperfixation.
Okay, I think there are lots of questions, but I don't think you'll be able to answer them.
The thing with me is that I am smart, and I'm self-smarted basically by myself, basically from nature and smoke and drugs and doing different things. I've self-learned myself.
Like I knew it right off the bat. When I saw those prison bars, I was like, this guy self-learned himself. This guy's got it going on. I mean, the prison bars are a true giveaway that this guy taught himself to be smart by nature and drugs and just, getting it done. The hairdo, the jail bar, it's all working for him. Pregnant beauty influencer Jackie Miller fights for life after an aneurysm in her brain. She got almost $300,000 in donations, and somehow there's a Wayfair ad here. So that happened. Bam Margara placed on 550 psychiatric hold after public breakdowns. I've covered this guy before. I don't really know. He's a Jackass star. I didn't see any of those movies. But he was acting erratically and slurring his speech when he was located by cops. So that's happened. Kanye West's wife, Bianca, yay, they're they're dead naming him. There he is with his shoulder pads. Sensori's absurd church outfit compared to a condom. I covered this the other day, and I guess it does look like a little bit like a condom. And he's got the shoulder pads. You know. Bug flies into Taylor Swift's mouth on stage during Eras tour. Delicious. She got a bug in her mouth. You know, let's see if they have some audio here.
Swallowed a bug. I'm so sorry. Totally fine. It's just stupid. Oh, delicious.
There's no water there or anything. Chris Leached steps down as CEO of CNN after scathing MAG profile. So here he is here. Now, I guess the guy did something with a Stephen Colbert show, so I don't even know what his experience with news was. But it's been a disaster. They had the CNN Plus, which exposed... They should have ever done that, because it exposed that nobody wanted to watch CNN. They had their online app, and nobody signed up for it. They lost, I don't know, millions of dollars on it, and it only lasted a month. And they were only getting 3,000 subscribers or 3,000 views, and it showed you that no one wants to watch CNN. It was a huge mistake. It's unwatchable. The best thing they have is that it's on cable news, and people who are familiar with, you know, older generation or whatever. So that was a disaster, and it's been a disaster ever since. Don Lemon's done the morning show, getting fired, and then all of it. Like, it just shows you that CNN, it's a failed business, and it's just going to get worse. CNN corporate head David Zaslav takes full responsibility for disastrous Chris Lish tenure. Why didn't he fire himself, right? For a number of reasons, things didn't work, and that's unfortunate. Ultimately, that's on me, and I take full responsibility for that. Yeah, you're not, you know. And you can't take full responsibility for your business model, which is, you know, I mean, it's jumped the shark, right? The CNN network and MSNBC and Fox, they're on their way out. They can't compete with social media and, you know, real news, basically, with their fake, crappy, made-up, CIA-based, you know, mind control stuff. Gay couple says Target refused to sell them Pride-themed onesie. Hurtful and infuriating. So Target apparently is pulling these things now because of pressure.
When Michael Hoffacker and Michael Rodell brought the 12-month Pride one...
Wait a minute, they're both named Michael? And they kind of look similar. I mean, that must be confusing. How do they call each other? Do they both call each other Michael? Like, one could be Mike, right?
Onesie to the self-checkout aisle, a message popped up that an employee was on the way.
A Target team member walked over and she let us know that that item should have been pulled.
I mean, their glasses are the same. They're both tinted. They look like brothers. So, I mean, they have same facial features. And they're both named Michael.
Pulled from the shelves, and that it had a do not sell on it, and they would not be able to sell us the item.
So, Target has pulled this stuff, the Pride stuff, because they took such a beating and, you know, social media and boycotts. So, you know, now there's going to be a separate backlash. Target screwed themselves is basically what it is. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, heaven is a fantasy and nothing happens when you die. You know, this guy is a complete moron, right? Like, he's one of the stupider people in Hollywood and, you know, politics or whatever it was, right? He's a horrible actor. He took steroids to make himself big. So, you know, he put in work, but he also took steroids. And, you know, he's a horrible person, cheated on his wife, fathered a child, you know, with a maid. I mean, a lot of stuff, right? And and then criticized other people like Trump and all these other people. And so he's not an evolved person. And he says, so it reminds me of Howard Stern's question to me, tell me, Governor, what happens to us when you die? I said, nothing. You're 6 feet under. Anyone that tells you something else is an effing liar, or they're just more evolved and smarter than you. And DeVito said, I said, we don't know what happens with the soul and all the spiritual stuff, that I'm not an expert, but I know that the body as we see it, each other now, will never see each other again like that. We deteriorate. And then he says here, except in some fantasy, when people talk about, I will see them again in heaven, it sounds so good, but reality is they won't see each other again after we're gone. That's the sad part. I know people feel comfortable with death, but I don't. You know? Well, you're getting closer, you freaking ghoul, you moronic ghoul. You know, telling people to screw your freedom. And then this, right? You know, and he's just not a smart guy or evolved. And he's just some muscle-bound thug that was kind of comical in his acting, so they gave him these roles, but he wasn't even a good athlete and good in fight scenes. And, you know, it wasn't like he was a martial artist or whatever. You know, he's just a big, dumb moron with a limited grasp of the English language. Millions in eastern U.S. face unhealthy air quality conditions from Canada wildfire smoke. Careful wildfire smoke. Live updates. Hoda's on it. What do you got, Hoda?
Those strange and dangerous scenes in the skies above a large section of the United States. Wildfire smoke from Canada, it's affecting nearly 100 million people across 18 states. Check out a couple of these literally breathtaking images. These are all along the East Coast, taken within just the last 12 hours. We've got a hazy Yankee Stadium, those crazy smoky...
Looks pretty apocalyptic in Canada. How are they having wildfires now? Canada is a beautiful, you know, like a wonder. I don't know if there's any deserts in Canada, right? Just lush and lots of rainfall, the Great Lakes, and a limited summer, right? We're only into June, and they're having wildfires and drought. U.S. hits new atmospheric carbon record while wildfires blanket continent in smoke. This is from Huffington Post. There's the Statue of Liberty. Tucker Carlson's new Twitter show, Seen by Millions, starts with conspiracy theories. Seen by millions, so he's outperforming CNN. 10-minute screed Tuesday, he attacked Ukraine's president as rat-like and shared conspiracy theories with his millions of followers. You know, anybody who uses this term conspiracy theory, any organization, in a derogatory way, should be boycotted. Like it just should be boycotted, right? Whatever that means. Because it is offensive and conspiracies exist. And to demonize people who believe in conspiracies is the ultimate in gaslighting. Because conspiracies are, you know, they need to be called out, and it's a way to check the balance of power. Yeah, there's false conspiracies out there. Let's go to the Twitter thing here. There's false conspiracies out there, but, you know, like there's Hillary Clinton, she's a conspiracy theorist. She talked about conspiracies against her husband, right-wing conspiracies, all these things. You don't say anything to her, and she sucks, right?
Well, let's see. The Kakhovka Dam was effectively Russian. It was built by the Russian government. It currently sits in Russian-controlled territory. The dam's reservoir supplies water to Crimea, which has been, for the last 240 years, home of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Blowing up the dam may be bad for Ukraine, but it hurts Russia more. And for precisely that reason, the Ukrainian government has considered destroying it. In December, the Washington Post quoted you.
Okay, so he's saying the Ukrainians did this, and they're calling that a conspiracy theory because they just have nothing else, right? This has got 162 million retweets and 18,000 quotes and 588,000 likes. So this is like he's got more likes than CNN gets views. Like, like that's how bad CNN. Like Tucker Carlson, I'm not a fan. He's more of a truther than these other whatever. But he is whatever he is. But just because he's embraced some of these truther narratives, he's outperforming CNN's whole network on Twitter, just in likes alone, never mind views. And so it's got 69 million views. This thing has 69 million views. Now, that might fall off, but that's like a year full of content on CNN. Like CNN, I mean, think about it. Disgraced ex-news anchor Frank Somerville arrested twice one night in California. He was cuffed, and I guess he's, I don't know what's going on here. He was accused of showing up drunk and angry at his father's house, his 91-year-old father's house. And fight between the siblings left his brother Mike with bruises on his face. Apparently he beat up his brother. So he was used to be on Fox News here. But somehow he lost his job, and now he's in jail. Sharon Doherty shares her heartbreaking cancer update. My fear is obvious.
Okay, here we go. Close your eyes. Open your mouth wide. And a little pressure. Nothing should hurt. It's just weird. Good. And then you grab this. You forgot the... You got it. We'll hold it. We'll hold it. You're doing it. Champ.
Well, that looks pretty creepy.
Do it fine. Okay, go back down. Good. You're doing great. That's it. Through your nose. That's it.
Okay, there's another headline here. Her cancer has moved into her brain. It says here. On January 5th, my CAT scan showed mets in my brain. Yesterday video was showing the process of getting fit for a mask, which you wear during radiation to your brain. Well, that's pretty bad. She's claustrophobic, so she's crying, and, bad times for her. Actually, I thought she had cancer for like 20 years, right? She's had cancer for a very long time. Morgan Wallen cleared to sing again after canceling 6 weeks of tour dates. He's a country singer, apparently. There's been so many singers who've had canceled tour dates because of health issues. And so, this is happening. The people's health is breaking down, dropping like flies. America's Got Talent winner Michael Grimm hospitalized for mental illness. Is it the hat? I mean, they're just dropping like flies here. Ukraine dam destruction live updates. Thousands evacuated flooded Kherson area. So there's debate about who did this, Russia or Ukraine. Huffington Post and mainstream media believes Russia or says Russia. Tucker Carlson says Ukraine. I say I don't care because it's none of my beeswax. Instagram algorithm boosted vast pedophile network, alarming report says. So, that speaks for itself. Instagram not censoring the proper stuff here. I just got a couple of comments to get to. I wanted to comment on that buffalo video, the bison. I was calling it bison because it is a bison. It's been, misnamed buffalo, which explains the whole weirdness behind the Buffalo Bills, because it should be the Bison Bills, but it's in Buffalo, New York. But anyways, these are animals that are used to tourists to some extent. And people keep bison as, you can get bison burgers very similar to hamburger. It's almost, it's about the same thing. And you don't milk a bison, though, like it's not a cow. But it's similar to cow meat. But they are built for combat. They just are, they're top-heavy and thick skulls. And they're aggressive animals. And, people going near them, the only reason that they're surviving is because the bison are somewhat used to people seeing them. But that doesn't, make that okay. And one thing I didn't say about it was, these people who go up and touch the bison or an animal, or they put the animal in a situation where the animal might attack them, the animal's going to be put down if it hurts a person. If an animal attacks a human, they're going to put that animal down. And so that's how selfish and narcissistic these people are. Like, I made light of it. But again, this is where, people just suck so bad. And so the other thing here is I got a couple comments I wanted to get to. One was from my other channel yesterday where the person said this: "It's been a long time. Still shilling for the right?" Follow-up to my dropping like flies future goodbye video. People say that like I miss them, or even worse, that I even know that they're gone, because I don't. There are certain people who have left comments for years, and they have a profile pic, and maybe we're friends on Facebook or something, who I know who they are, right? There are people who I used to maybe message back and forth when I had more time in the beginning. So there's people who I know, like people who comment, often. But I expect that people will leave and come back, or leave and never come back, because, you don't watch something like this forever. Maybe you do, I don't know. But not everybody is, and I accept that. I'm not bummed when people leave if they get tired of me or they just lose interest. I mean, they move on to something else. It's not my problem. That's fine. Like, I'm not upset at them. I don't expect you to, I'm not trying to control people's behaviors. But when people show back up and I never knew who they were, like I don't recognize this person's profile pic, it's or their name. It's not like, I even know who this is. And then they say still shilling for the right. I never shilled for anybody because I don't do that, but I'm not offended by someone calling me a shill. Like I use it as a derogatory word, but I don't, like, it's such a nest show out there. Everybody's surviving, right? Everybody just has got to get by. And this, purity in the truth community people, they just suck, right? They're just, they think they're better, like everyone's a piece of poop. Like I'm a piece of poop and you're a piece of poop. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I've told that story before so much in the third master of the Sajmark system. Used to often tell it, that this guy was, a young guy wanted to get trained in some, by some guru. And they have this thing called Guru Dakshina, where the disciple has to give the guru a present. It usually happens after they've been trained. But this young man comes to the guru and says, "I want you to train me and, to be a spiritual person." And he said, "Well, you have to give me a Guru Dakshina." And the kid says, "What is it?" He goes, "Give me the worst thing in the world." And so the kid goes around looking for one thing after another, and they're all worse than the previous thing. Finally, he's, going to the bathroom, number 2, and he realizes that that's the worst thing, the crap in the toilet. So he goes to scoop it up, and the poop says to him, because in this story poop talks, "What are you doing?" And the guy said, "Well, my guru wants me to bring the worst thing in the world, and, you're it." And he goes, "What do you mean I'm the worst thing in the world? I was birthday cake and, an apple before I met you. That was wonderful things, and it's you who turned me into this, right? So who's the worst thing?" And so the guy goes back and says, "I'm the worst thing in the world." And, there's too many people think they're better than, whoever. And, I don't get into that here. I mean, there's levels of behavior that I find shocking that people engaged in, low levels of behavior. And certainly, if I was going to compare myself to those people, I would think I'm a better person. But I know lots of people who are nicer, better, have, better characters than me, spiritual people. And, it's not grading on a curve. We all have to improve ourselves, right? But, now the way the world is, all these people who are in the truth community, and they're like, they did this with the QBs. Oh, you're a shill. And, they just, all these people who suck themselves and are constantly slamming other people. Like, I make fun of people because, I'm accurate in my assessment, but I don't take it seriously, and I don't wish the people any harm, and I don't really know them. Like, I'm not friends with them. I don't, know them. I just know what's being presented out there, or the stuff that they're presenting themselves, right? Like Alec Baldwin. He sucks or whatever it is, but his suckiness isn't my problem, and I don't really care about it. Other than it's fun for me to mock him and laugh at him, but that's about all there is, right? It's light. I don't, these people show up. Oh, you're still shilling for the right? Like, why? Why are you saying that? Like, why are you? That's your contribution. Like, it's just embarrassing that's your level of. That's what you have to contribute to the conversation. Hey, I'm back. Well, no one knew that you were gone. Hey, you still shilling for the right? No, and why would you even say something that stupid? So, like, it's just two stupid statements that are, one, nobody cares about. Really, both of them. And the second part's, like, not true. And you're making it sound like you're missed. Here's another comment on my other channel I just received, after I pulled that one. And then I was answering comments while I was editing this. And this person writes, now I remember why I left this channel with a peace sign. Nobody knew you left in the first place. Again, somebody I don't recognize their name. And I mean, just people think there's so much of themselves, right? Like, yeah, okay, you left and you're going to leave again. You don't like my videos. Okay. Why did you need to say something? Like, and not that I want the person to leave a longer comment because, obviously I'm not reading it or whatever. And I'm not looking for complaints, but there's no context to it, right? So, it was a 40-minute video. It's my last dropping like flies video. And, it's just how bad, like, why your performance is so poor, right? As a commenter and a contributor to the, life on social media. It's subpar. Like, you should expect better of yourself. Again, it's not my problem that, people suck and, whatever it is. Like, my suckiness is my problem. Your suckiness is your problem. But these people show up and they think like, oh, wow, like I was missed. Like, life stopped for everybody else on my channel when this person left and stopped viewing it. I don't know if this person either of the persons commented before, or they're just showing up and shilling and they never watched before. That's just fake and they're liars, right? But it's like embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing to be you, right? Like, you're embarrassing the rest of us. Like, if aliens are watching, they're reading your comments, they're like, oh, these guys are like really low developed beings. Anyways, only spirituality will save this world. It's Barabano, definitely reporting from the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.